Hello. I'm in such a weird phase of life. Not really, but like actually just like boring. But yeah. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm confronted by the same, not even like paradox, but like I guess like the same like stupid, not even problems, lack of problems, like not, but that's not the problem. Like the problem isn't that there's a lack of problems. Like that sounds weird and doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I'm in the current phase of life that I'm in. I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. Okay, when I think about ways to talk about this, I'm like, well, who should I cater to when talking? Rather than just expressing myself and how I actually feel. Because I'm like, okay, like, who would my critical audience be then? And why would it have to be the most critical audience possible? Like, why can't the audience just be people who actually would want to hear me out? Like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, so like, the audience probably wouldn't be people who would actually want to hear me out. They'd probably be people who have something like negative to say, something overly critical to say. But why do I feel that way? If I didn't just say all of the obvious things that people say about that, like, oh, like your thought patterns, your vibrations, your daily habit, like, I'm like, how much do I believe in that? Like, I feel like no matter where you are in life, there's somebody who will tell you you're stupid for either believing something or not believing it. But what if you don't have either? And you're like, well, it's not like I don't think that this is the way it would have worked if anything made sense. But considering it doesn't, then that's definitely not how it works. And then I feel like people will be like, everything you're saying is so abstract, like nobody would actually listen to it, nobody would understand. Like nobody would care. If you don't have goals, you want to go nowhere in life, is like what people would say, right? But if you do have goals, then you're like literally hallucinating or a psychopath. Or like it's weird that you haven't achieved goals that you don't care about that somebody else would have wanted you to care about. Why would you put in so much effort for something you don't care about? It's like if the benefits are not that good, like why would you put in like however much effort? Like why actually would you? It's funny because my mind is so clear. Like clear as in like I guess I'm just in like a meditative state, like not really thinking anything specific, but like experiencing. Experiencing what other than doubt that I was meant to experience anything positive ever? Because that's what I'm experiencing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. 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 Oh no. I don't know. In 2025 so far, I feel like I'm going nowhere. Like, I feel like my prospects for years beyond 2025 have suddenly gotten boring and, like, pointless. Not that I'm unhappy. I'm not unhappy. I'm just, like... If Earth was supposed to be a video game, it's not showing itself. Like, it's not giving... raise your vibration and you like have a better life. It's not giving manifestation. Because like theoretically you just get stronger at manifestation, or you get like stronger energy, or like you have strong energy at some point in time and that like does something and then you like upgrade. Or you have a positive thought pattern and then you upgrade due to that. I have a bone to pick with like Earth and like the structure of this reality. Okay? I do. Because I get it. We're supposed to like open our chakras and stuff, but like, what does that do? Like, you were not born with a handbook explaining what to do. Like, I do have a bone to pick with this reality. Because the benefits are hard to find. And we're here. And like, you know, like, the upgrades are hard to find. Like, I practice magic. I've been a creative person my whole life. I've been a strategic person my whole life. I've had some level of foresight to the future my whole life. I've been an empathetic person. I've had good karma my whole life. And what did that get me? What did that get me? A very clear mind. I don't have to do anything to feel like I'm in a meditation. And what did that get me? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing but these dead-end jobs with bosses who act like they hate me, or who are mean for no reason, or the job's boring, like to the point where like I could saw off my toe and it would be more interesting, and like to the point where I start thinking about that, like, you know, when you're like like, not because I would want to, but you know, when if you're like working somewhere with like fried food and you're like, I really could just like deep fry my hand for like 30 seconds and I could leave, like I could get out of here, like like I'm not going to, and I don't want to go through that. I never wanted to go through that. But you know what's worse? That I'm trying to not confront the fact that it's worse. The fact that like I'm gonna have to stay at this job for the rest of the day. I mean, I don't have a job now, so like that's worse. Not having money is worse, but at what cost when I do have money? Like literally, I there's only so many like funny jokes that I can make. There's only so many like ways I can laugh about that. Like, if this is a lesson, it's not one. Like, if this is my vibration and something that I was supposed to like be able to fix, it's not one. Like, if this was like not having energy, either the energy was supposed to come from me like sticking my hand in a deep fryer, or it's not about that. So I wonder which it is. Like, I'm not saying that I mean, maybe, I don't know. What am I saying? I didn't tell a lie. Like, I didn't tell a lie. It really is that bad. Like, it really is that annoying. Like, it really is, like, people think you're crazy if you know that you don't deserve for something to be as negative as it is. Like, actually, if you're like, oh, like, actually, I have had, like, bosses that were disrespectful. People will look at you and they'll be like, either that's not real, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you just need somebody to explain it to you. I'm like, what do you mean I would need somebody to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no wonder I'm cynical about everything. No wonder I'm, okay. I know I come across as, like, very positive. Like, I think people always say that to me. They're like, you come across so positive, like, how are you always happy? I'm like, I'm like, have you thought about that for more than like 30 seconds? You know that what I think the like baseline of your experience is so negative that I would want to cheer you up, even though you most likely actually had like a more fun life. Like, do you get, you might not get what I'm saying at all. Like I think the average person is how would I put this? I definitely like not because I'm stupid. That wouldn't be why, at least. But yeah, no, I do think the average person like did not have a fun life. And that's actually not true. I mean, that the average person didn't. If my life is gonna be fun, I'm still waiting for that to happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I'm ever gonna have a chapter of my life that's like fun, I'm still waiting for that to be like in the future, because it would not be in the past. So I'm assuming it's the same for you, to the point where like I don't know, I think about it a lot. Like, I feel like if I were I mean, I don't think about it a lot, but I do. I think about it sometimes. That's what not a lot, but a lot is, just sometimes. No, like, I think, like, the average person's childhood is probably, like, their dog died, and then 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 their dog died, and they probably had, like, 70 dogs at one time, and they all died at the same time of what? Like, the dog, like, ate one bite of grass, and the dog got cancer. And then the person thought it was their fault. And then the next dog ate one blade of grass and got cancer from that, mysteriously somehow, but it was like proven that the blade of grass was what caused it. And then the person thought it was their fault again. And like that, but for like all 70, 80, 90 dogs. And this was like multiple times a day of their entire life. Like, that's what I generalized like the average person probably went through as like a child. So of course I'm going to like want to cheer you up. Are you kidding? Like, of course I'm like positive. Like, what? Of course I wasn't gonna like say something negative, like, what? But people are like, oh, like, you're so happy, like, how are you happy all the time? I'm like, if I weren't, what would I be? Like what I think maybe people can be so depressed if they felt like they had like such a cheerful life at like one point in time. So they can almost like feed off of that and be like, "Oh, I'm so depressed. I hate everything." But this one time like when I was little, I actually loved this or that. When I was little, what did I love? When I was little, like what was like something I loved? When I was little, like what was like a happy memory? You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, oh, I have to pay, like I don't run around like, oh, I have to pay taxes, but like I remember this one time when I was little and like I didn't have to pay taxes and life was so easy. When like if this person's like, oh, like I was like 10 and like I didn't have to pay taxes and life was so easy. When I was 10, I thought someday I'm going to be an adult, and if I think about the fact that I don't want to pay taxes, I'm probably going to get hit by a car immediately. Like, you know what I mean? And then an airplane's gonna fall on me. But like genuinely believing it. And then I'm gonna try to cross the street, but then I'm gonna like try to avoid a bee. But then, and somehow I'm still alive. But then like applesauce is gonna fall out of a cloud and like drench me completely. And then I'm still gonna somehow be alive, but this giant hawk's gonna like grab me and like bring me to the bird nest and like feed me to the baby hawks, and then I'm gonna be dead. But like believing it, but like yeah, I was creative, but like um you want to know how much I genuinely believed in the concept that like, I think I've talked about this before, how like the idea that like the zombie apocalypse could have already started and you just don't know yet. But like I fully believed that. Or I fully believed the sun is not only going to explode like in our lifetime, but it's going to happen in the next hour. Like at all times in my childhood. Are you kidding? I was probably like 18 or 19 the first time like I genuinely like could confidently be like, more than likely the sun's not gonna explode in the next hour of our lives. More than likely the zombie apocalypse is not gonna be in the next 24 hours. Not because I was like so stupid, but because like I was not even just cynical, but like I genuinely believed everybody was like completely going through it like bad. So obviously now as an adult, I'm going to like, I have like an eyelash in my eye. You know. And I still think my inner child is like so like, you know, like I have an eyelash in my eye. Most people will be like, oh, that's fine. But my inner child's like, don't forget this one article you read when you were like 7 where a dog got an eyelash in their eye and went blind completely in the eye. And that could be you. And there is absolutely no reason to think that that is not literally gonna be you. Even though I just have an eyelash in my eye and it doesn't even hurt and like I barely even feel it. But I just ignore that like voice in my mind because it's not even there. It's not even like a conscious thing, but it's like just the past me, like in my experience, just there, you know? Yeah. I don't know. I've never really got to compare with the average person, like, what makes them so unhappy then? If I seem to be so happy. I guess like, yeah, I don't know what it would be for the average person. But for me, if I like didn't think every single time that like I'm experiencing something that's less than what I know that I deserve ideally, like basically every time I feel that I deserve something better than what I experience, I'm like, oh, like there's probably a very good reason for that. And it's probably either there to teach me something or like I'm actively getting something from that. And that's the only reason for it. for whatever negative thing or whatever thing that could have been better. Because if I didn't, I would walk around like a carpet full of water, like a carpet in a rainstorm. I don't know what the figurative language would be for that, but like, yeah, like, it's not gonna get me through my lifetime if I walk around like a carpet drenched in water, because maybe I would collect more water than the average person if I did that. Because the times that I think that like I don't know, what are people who are like not positive? Like, are people just content with that? It's not even that I like love like coming across super positive either. It's just like, what would I do to like enjoy my life experience if I were not a positive, like if I didn't come across as a positive person, if I didn't experience the positive aspect of my own self? What would like get me through it? I mean, maybe you guys just have more money than me. If you can be so cynical and like care about anything, like you like in the way that you present. I don't understand. Like, you could actually walk around and be like, oh, I hate everything, and like say that all the time and be fine. Like, I genuinely don't get it. I genuinely don't get it if someone's that type of person. But again, I think that I would collect more like water than the average person, in the sense of like being weighed down by something, if I wanted to live that way. Because even I look at an orange marker and I'm like, but it could have been better. Like, it's not special, it could have been better. It doesn't like levitate on its own, it doesn't have wings. I want marker dragonflies. Like, I want something weird. Like, I want something cool. But that doesn't exist. So yeah, I'm positive because the things that I could possibly enjoy in life are my own positivity. What could I possibly enjoy in life that doesn't come from my own positivity? That is like enjoyable. Like, I don't know. I think, okay, here's the deal, right? I think people have like things that they like indulge in a way. So they can be so negative and be looking forward to the next thing that they're going to like indulge in a way that they think is like harming themselves, but they don't care or whatever, right? Like, could that possibly be it? Like, say somebody had like a shopping addiction. They could walk around hating themselves, but they're like, oh, like I'm thinking about that pair of shoes from wherever that I like saw an ad for, or like this celebrity was wearing that pair of shoes, and like they can hate the world and themselves and everybody they ever met and everything actively, like in the moment, and just be like, oh, but that one pair of shoes is gonna like matter though. To who? I don't, maybe people like have more of an ego. Maybe I'm just like egoless, like, and that's why but I wouldn't say I'm like so happy. I would say like I come across as like so happy. But I think if you lived my life, you would too. Because like, I don't know. I think to a degree, people not being like spiritual makes their life easier. And people who don't like the things that I believe in would love to hear that and be like, oh, that's because you're wrong. But like, no. Like, that's not it. Because like, wow, I love the part of my hair that I just chopped. Not now, but like a long time, like a while ago, a little bit ago. I don't know how long ago, I don't remember. Like, look at how amazing it looks. I don't know though. I think when people have like an ego, they're like they can be negative. They can be like they have that option. Because also in their mind, they're thinking about some person they're probably like hooking up with. They're thinking about like the next pair of shoes they're gonna buy when they have money. Like they're thinking about like what some celebrity wore. What else do people think about? What else do people literally think about? Like, I don't know. Do people not look at all of those things and be like, that's less than 1% of what I would deserve? All of it. Like, I don't know. Like, the person you're like hooking up with or dating, you know how they would have to literally be a physical incarnation of the entire sun if you didn't deserve better. Then they better be a planet somehow like masterfully like incarnated as a person, and like they better be levitating and teleporting and doing telekinesis, and they better be able to like physically shapeshift into a cloud. Otherwise, you do deserve better. So the person you think is so mystical and amazing, I'm not saying that like they don't have good qualities. They could still get you through the lifetime if you want. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, that like $3,000 you might have or something, like could have been like 70 million or something, you know, like it could have been like I don't know, like that's what you would have deserved, like anything, like no offense, but like not to like make you uncomfortable, but like anything lower than like the best that you can imagine is not what you would have deserved. So like what are we supposed to be learning here? That sounds bad. I don't mean it like that. I mean, I'm genuinely asking. Like, glad we're all here. I'm glad we're all here. I'm glad none of us are like on fire or like falling into a volcano. Like, I'm glad we're all here. But now that we're all here in the same room, we can be honest about the fact that what are we supposed to be gaining? What are we actually supposed to be like doing? Like I'm practicing magic. Like, I'm pretty sure I got to the point of what I thought the point was. What the point could have been. So why am I not winning at the game? Like, this is gonna make people not want to practice magic, like hearing what I'm saying, but it doesn't make me not want to. It's just like what was that? I hear things outside, but nothing's outside. Yeah, I don't know, maybe this is gonna make people just not want to learn about energy or practice magic. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, because they're probably kind of stupid if it hasn't crossed their mind that like the world is like a simulation and stuff, or like not the only place where you can incarnate. So yeah. So yeah, like you are supposed to be like learning about energy, but what else are you supposed to be learning? Like, and it's like when I think about how would I describe why I'm not in a different like place in life, right? Like starting at the same place. When I think about describing why I'm not at the same place in life, well, if I could have been better at advertising, you want to know what advertising is? Literally manifestation. And a lot of luck, and marketing is literally energy. But knowing that makes it harder and way more impossible. But if you don't know it, then you're always going to feel insecure in that. And you're always going to be terrified, and you're never going to know how to repeat the recipe even if you get it right once. Then those views or those responses are going to start to fall off, and you're not going to know why. But I think the ego helps to keep that intact. Like, the fact that it has to just be whatever your brain thinks is, like, normal or, like good, but it's based off of, like, you being better than somebody else or something stupid. Do you hear that? It sounds like a cat is dying. But, yeah, say somebody thought that marketing was like the color of their hair. So they were like, oh, I have to have blue hair forever, or the marketing is not going to be good. But if the blue hair is there, then the marketing is good. And then it's like, if they're not very smart, but they have a very strong belief system, and they can never prove to themselves that the blue hair is not what did it, and they're perfectly content believing it was the blue hair, then, like, is that what makes them successful? Like, does that, like, do something for them? Like, what's, like, going on? Like, I'm still, like, looking for answers. The cat is still dying out there. The joke is, the punchline here is, I love accomplishing things. That's the punchline here, is I love accomplishing things. I genuinely love that's my favorite thing. It's almost like the only thing I care about is accomplishing things. That's like the only thing not the only thing, but like the literally top like 3 things I care about would be like how cool it feels to like accomplish things and like check things off the list of things that I love to accomplish and that I'm actively accomplishing. But nobody would ever believe me, because what accomplishments do I have? Like, that's like the joke here. Like, that's the joke. Like, that's like the funny thing here, isn't it? Like, that I practice magic, but every time a spell isn't strong enough to do what I wanted it to do, I'm like, okay, like, I'm pretty sure I believe in this like 25% less, even though it's the only thing that makes logical sense. Like, okay. If the concept is like, in order to practice spells that work, you have to gain energy, the only way you could actually, like, logically be responsible for the amount of energy you gain is if you yourself could give yourself the answer for how to gain energy. So if you do that and you ask yourself, how would I gain energy? Yourself tells you, here's how I would gain energy if I needed more energy. You do that endlessly, you don't get any energy. Then what was I supposed to learn here? That I could lie to myself and want myself to be unhappy? Like, what was I supposed to gain from that? What was I supposed to learn here? What was I supposed to be getting out of that? Was I supposed to be? There's still a cat dying outside. Was I supposed to be getting something out of that? I don't know. I think people become obsessed with certain things. And I think, again, on the topic of, like, people can, like, feel negative, but, like, still, like, not feel like they're, like, lowering their, like, path in life due to, like, being negative towards themselves. People who are way more negative than me are like having way better lives. People who are not trying are having way better lives. I'm pretty sure every time I try to have a better life, like my life gets worse. I'm pretty sure that that's the problem. But what else was I supposed to do? Not care? Want to have like a worse life? Like it doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure I'm not so lucky that if I stopped taking things seriously, like that my results would change. Like I'm pretty sure I'm not so lucky that I'm like gonna be handed any opportunity. Or like I think my ego doesn't hold like privilege, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I don't have anything that I don't have every disadvantage. But I feel like my ego itself is not like a dry sponge that's like ready to hold privilege. Because my ego like is barely even there. So if even there at all. Like it's like, you know. I don't know, it's very cynical over here and not a lot of like no like ego boosting or feeding off of negativity. I mean, it's funny because people would be like, oh, like what is cynicism if it's not feeding off of negativity? It's not. It's having very, very, very dark, disturbing expectations of the baseline of reality and other people's experiences. Like it's not like oh, I'm like envious of this person. Like people give that vibe. They'll be like, oh, like I'm envious of this person or like jealous of that person. Oh, and like this person has this boyfriend and this girl like I don't know, somebody like cheated on somebody and like, oh my god, like that matters. That matters apparently. That matters apparently. No, like that matters apparently. It matters apparently. Like it matters apparently. Apparently to somebody that matters. Like you guys don't expect that? That wasn't the first thing you guys expected when you thought about dating somebody? That wasn't the number one expectation. Like that wasn't like it wasn't in the top 10 expectations. Like you're surprised. You're surprised. You guys are surprised by like human nature and the odds of something bad happening. I'm still trying to find out if there's odds that something bad is not gonna happen. Like, like I'm trying to find out if it's possible that there are odds that like something good would happen rather than like something negative. And people are like, you know, shocked when something bad happens. Like, okay. Like, no, I believe you that you're shocked. I believe you that you're shocked. I expected you to be shocked that, you know, whoever got cheated on by whoever, like, I expected you to be shocked, but, like, I was still, not even surprised to be proven right, but, like, I don't know. It was weird. I just got, like, a little, like, okay. Do you guys know what an ice pick headache is? I don't know the purpose of those. I haven't decided. Like, it wasn't like a normal ice pick headache. A normal ice pick headache feels like an ice pick gets like can't demonstrate with scissors because you're gonna think I'm actually like, but it would be like if an ice pick was like all the way, like say it's like in my skull, an ice pick headache would be like that, and it stays like about 3 seconds. That's like what a normal ice pick headache, or like 3 to 4 seconds. That would be a normal ice pick headache, but it would go like about that far, like that far in. This, it was very like rounded. Like, this is dirty, but it's sunscreen, but it would be like, it was like that size basically, but instead of going like inwards, it was just like right there, and then it stopped. But it was an ice pick headache, like it was the same like what the fuck? Okay, I don't know. Good YouTuber skills. As if this is not the most like pointless video. I don't know. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? It doesn't balance. But yeah, I don't know. I do think the average person, I don't know, does the average person really think about designer brands that much? If they don't have money, what do they think about? Do they? Do they actually just think, like, do people just think about, like, how attractive some people are? Like, do they think about that? And that's it, though. Like, I'm, like, missing the, like, I'm not saying that, no, like, I wouldn't think of that, but I'm saying, like, what do people do to get their life if it's not trying to be positive about something? How is it how could it possibly be surprising if I'm not negative? How could that possibly be? And then there's this whole other, like, category of people who, like, think that it would be, like, not positive if I, like, come across as a positive person. What did you want me to do? Okay. I feel like the most that I've ever got, like, shit for that would be at, like, a restaurant job. Not even a specific one. All of them. All of them. And, like, pretty much only those jobs, mostly, but, like, or no, other jobs too, but, like, really, like, those jobs. Okay? Like, in 5 seconds, I'm about to have to wipe a counter. Like, obviously I'm going to be positive right now because that's 5 seconds in the future. I don't have to worry about it in this exact moment. Like, what did you expect? Okay? And I think also, oh, my hair is like, but I think a part of it will be like, no matter how good I am at a job, or no matter how much I care, or how much I try at a job, I'm like, I feel like there's always a part of me that's like surprised that I haven't been spontaneously fired for no reason. Because I don't think that I have like privilege to the point where that wouldn't happen. Or I don't think that I'm so lucky that that wouldn't happen. Like, I don't think that, like, if that's going to happen somewhere on the planet, that it's going to, like, miss me or not happen every single time. Like, I don't know. I think, like, people who have, it's also weird. People who could not fix my life if they were in my shoes are the exact people who will be like, oh, well, clearly you're doing this, and that wrong. It's like, but you wouldn't be able to fix my life if you were in my shoes. you actually would not be strong enough to do that. So weird and funny that, like, you think that you're important. So weird and funny that you think that you're that important. Important to who? All of the coincidences that you never realized were coincidences. Important to who? Like, okay, here's the deal. There's always somebody who thinks that they're better than you for no reason, and there's always somebody who gets, like, confirmation from the universe about being better than you for no reason, okay? There will be people who genuinely believe that they manifested everything in their life, but they're racist or they hate gay people or, like, something fucking stupid. Yet they think they manifested everything in their life. You know who else thinks they manifested everything in their life? Serial killers. Like, who else thinks they manifested everything in their life? People who did something completely awful and never got caught. Like, just because you think you manifested everything in your life and just because the universe is willing to give you, like, fake credit over that does not mean that you manifested anything in your life. And that doesn't mean that in another person's shoes who never did whatever you did, or would never be willing to do whatever you do, or would never think the way that you think, because it's bad and actually negative. And yeah, people be like, oh, like, morality is gray. Yeah, but no, you're actually rejecting an aspect of yourself if you're, like, that degree of, like, thinking that other people are never representing an aspect of yourself. Ever. Like, yes, they're a whole other person, but also they're showing you something about yourself. So if you're, like, some people are literally just gonna reincarnate, and that's why the universe is like, babe, take all the credit. Like, oh my gosh, think you manifested everything. Like, the universe will, like, the universe will show up for people in this lifetime who are absolutely going to reincarnate. Not because the universe showing up for somebody is bad or means that you're going to reincarnate, but there are people who absolutely, like, it would only make logical sense unless the entirety of the universe has the intelligence of, like what you would think a rock has, okay? Not because you think rocks are intelligent, but you would have to think rocks are, like, literally stupid. Like, I'm not talking about if you could project intelligence onto a rock and, like, come up with something. I'm saying, like, if you thought a rock was, like, the dumbest thing ever, like, the universe would have to have that level of intelligence in order to have, like, the reward system that it currently has, unless sometimes it means something negative and sometimes it means something positive. But that makes it so much more stressful. But the average person that I've even, like, ever met, the average person that I've ever met, they don't know when they're projecting onto people. Like, they don't know when they're, like, projecting something onto somebody that's not even real. Yet, they think they manifested this, and that. Like, and it just got, like, handed to them. But they're, like, harmful to themselves in this, and that way. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order for the universe to, like, not be, like, I don't know, should I even post this? Is there any point? Like, for what? Whatever, maybe I will, and somebody will just feel seen. Somebody on the planet somewhere in Antarctica, I don't know, in Atlantis, in the depths of the ocean somewhere, on the moon. I don't know. I don't know. But, like, people People do get rewarded for being terrible. More than they get rewarded for being great. People will get rewarded for being terrible to themselves sometimes, more than they get rewarded for being great to themselves, like on Earth. If you disagree with me, you would have to literally think that Elon Musk is like better than you for like not donating some of his $400 billion to like help people, even if you would. Like, it doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense. Literally nothing makes sense. I don't know. I have literally nothing to say, that's all. Bye.